welcoming to the show. It's Ollie, and this is very important. Is it Davis or Davies? Because it's like scone and scone, but it's more
I,
important because it's your name.
I appreciate you asking that. No one ever thinks of it. It is Davis. Yeah, I kind of
Davis.
autopilot that out to people. But yeah, Davis is preferable. Although I'm not going to get mad either way, to be honest.
Okay, I've definitely been saying Davies, so I will change.
That's cool. That's cool.
Right, it says Ollie Davis on the show. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm staying in there.
Staying in there. I mean, that pretty much normally, if someone said, "Oh, I'm just staying in there," you'd be like, "Oh, something's wrong." But in these terms, staying in there. Oh, happy
Like,
days.
oh,
That's fantastic news.
yeah, it's like, oh, that's pretty good.
So obviously, we are now in the midst of a second lockdown. How did you cope with the first one? Did you think, yeah, survived?
Yeah, see, so I was finishing university during the first lockdown. So I was doing my dissertation. So I would have been sat inside kind of writing. I was like, oh, well, it's not too bad. I lost a few gigs and I couldn't see my mates go to the pub, that sort of thing. But I was like, you know what? Fairly privileged position. I felt pretty good. Not so much the second one, if I'm honest. But, you know,
Yeah, yeah, because that's
um,
that's the thing is, obviously as a musician, obviously the first lockdown, then it was like, okay, we can't do anything, we can't do any gigs, and then there was, oh, we're socially distanced gigs, they're becoming a thing, and then they've just been taken away again as well.
yeah. No, I did one socially distanced music festival just before the second lockdown, like Wild Paths Music Festival in Norwich.
Yes, I saw a few people do that.
Yeah, run by Ben Street from used to be in Coasts, and it's a really great team there. And it was a bit weird. Like I was on stage, and they had you could only walk a certain way. There were like roped off tables, and it was like the last really hot day as well. I mean, I wore jeans, I was baking, but it was like a really kind of like the last of the summer, but the first festival I'd done, so it was kind of weird. But
First and last festival.
yeah, it's the last gig. I haven't done a gig in 8. It's the longest I've gone without doing a gig since I was like a teenager. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, and this is since I was 15. So for the last this how old I am. Last 17 years, I've gone to at least 12 gigs a year. So I've always gone to at least a gig a month.
Yeah.
This year, I've only been to 3, and it's just killing me.
I miss them a lot. I think my hearing's probably got better. That's probably the only positive.
There's a benefit. So what gigs have you been to this year? Not ones you've performed at. What gigs have you actually gone to or managed to get to?
I went to see John Mayer at the O2 actually, which was amazing. I've been wanting to see him since I was a little kid, and I went by so I had a recording session in London that day with a jazz band. So I finished, stuffed my suit in my rucksack, and they'd given me a megaphone to use at the for one of the recordings, and they were like, "Oh, just keep it, take it with you. We don't need it." So I turned up to the O2 by myself to watch John Mayer because none of my mates wanted to go, and I was like, "I'm not missing him because he might not come back for like years."
Yeah.
And so I rocked up, and they were like, "Why have you got a megaphone?" And I was searching through. I had all this recording equipment, and they were really suspicious. And I thought they weren't going to let me in. And I finally sat in, and there was no one on either seat next to me, so I looked like I'd had 2 friends that bailed. I was really paranoid. I felt like everyone was looking at me like, "Oh, poor guy." But it was he was so good live. I was really worried because I suddenly sat down and thought, what if he's not as good as I want him to be? I'm gonna be really upset. And it's phenomenal. I really enjoyed it.
One of my favorite songs of all time is Gravity.
Oh, it's amazing. His whole live in LA, the live album he did, because it's just incredible. Like a huge thing for me.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, just listening to your music, he's a clear inspiration.
Kind of hard. It's hard to get away from that. Every so often, I'll get halfway through writing a song and be like, "Cool, this is good. This is a John Mayer song." It happens all the time. I have to I get whenever I write something and it's good, I get really paranoid that I've just stolen it.
So how long have you actually been writing for? Because you like you said, you only just finished uni. So you're what, 21, 22 now?
I'm 21. Actually, I turned 22 at the end of this month. Nice end of lockdown birthday. So
all the celebrating in your bubble.
Yeah, much. Might go for a walk. Who knows?
Oh, get that unlimited exercise in.
Yeah. So I've probably been writing. I mean, I was writing stupid kind of non-songs when I was a little kid. So I started teaching myself guitar. I used to just play along to the radio, that sort of thing, when I was a kid. And I had a little classical guitar, but I was really into Jimi Hendrix and that sort of stuff back then. So I used to try and learn like a very simplified version of one of his songs, and then just kind of crudely rewrite the lyrics. I guess it'd be like my first attempt at songwriting. I did a bunch of like Jack Johnson things as well, and then stole a lot of his music. And then I don't know, I never really I never sat there and went, I am a songwriter. I just kind of, I know I did it because it was fun. I never really thought about it until I was about 17, 18. I was like, oh, I guess that's kind of what that is. Kind of accidentally fell into it, I suppose.
Well, you know, because the passion's always been there. So it's,
Exactly,
I think that's the thing, especially the arts, so music, comedy, anything like that. It's, I think if you make a conscious decision, go, I'm going to be a musician, it doesn't always work out so well. You've got to have that passion there to start with.
Something I just have to do. I can't. I've actively tried to not. When I started, so I played the Brighton Great Escape Festival in 2017 for Fender, and I was a cocky teenager. He just was like, school, and I was like, oh, this is sick, guys. There's going to be some guy in a suit in the back who's going to be like, hey, here's $20,000 and a mansion in LA. I was like, oh, I don't need to go to school anymore. This is great. And obviously it was amazing. They're great. I had a great time. And then the world didn't stop for me. And I was a bit shocked. And so then I went to university, and I was like, well, fine. I took my guitars with me. I was like, fine, I'm not going to play them. I'm going to take a break from music. And then I just kept playing guitar every day, and I didn't really ever manage to. So I actively tried to stop, and still carrying on.
So it's just instilled in your core.
Yeah, it's just something I kind of have to do. It's not because I want to do it to be well known. I mean, that would be very nice. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't say no to stadiums and sponsorships and fans, but it's not why I do it. It would just be a happy byproduct if it ever did happen.
That's the purest way of doing it. It really is. So obviously, as well, the moment you've got a brand new single out, which is just pure relax, just chilled. It's got those John Mayer vibes. I mean, throughout all your music, I mean, we played Lavender a lot before. So what's the new single about?
Box Wine Blues. So, I mean, I guess it's like a lot of artists will be going, oh, there's a new song I wrote during lockdown. But I tried to write a lot during lockdown, and it was either kind of sarky, slightly politically things. I was like, it's a bit half-assed. I don't think I have quite enough political depth to my views to really pull that off. Or it was really miserable. And I love that. Don't get me wrong. I think there's nothing like a good sad song sometimes. But personally, I don't like writing and releasing sad music. I feel like there's enough in the world. And I like to try and be quite a positive guy. So even if I do write like a sad-ish song, so like if you re-listen to the lyrical themes in Lavender, it's not exactly the most positive song, but it's like a positive sounding and like feeling song. So that's kind of where I sit most of the time. And I think Box Wine Blues is a bit like that. So I was drinking a lot of box wine during lockdown because it's cheap. You go grab a box for grab box for like £5 down Tesco's, and it helps fuel the writing process, that sort of thing. And the song kind of just started from there. So I kind of finished university and found a job market that wasn't super in need of a freelance musician right now.
Really?
I was like, oh, what do you mean? I put musician into Indeed and nothing except music teacher came up, and I was like, oh, great. And there were no shows. I was feeling a bit bummed about that. So I started looking for, kind of like hospitality work, which is mostly what I've been doing at the moment whilst I'm waiting for things kind of bounce back. And I was kind of a bit miserable about that. And I was thinking about it because a lot of my friends from university were like, oh, I've got my first position. I'm making 35,000 in my first year. And I was feeling a bit, maybe I made the wrong decision. And so the song kind of looks at balancing, the crossroads of, I really want to do this. I really feel like I need to do this. And I also want to, afford food and hopefully not live in my parents' house forever, that sort of thing. So
yeah,
I think that's a general, but it came through quite a few iterations to not be something that was super depressing. Because I thought no one wants to listen to a musician be all self-pitying about, like, I was like, I'm fortunate in that I have work and a place to stay, and plenty of people don't. So I didn't want to be super self-pitying, but that's probably, to be fair.
I also like the fact that it was almost say what you see when you're coming to the song title. Just look around the room.
Yeah.
Box, that'll do. Wine, that'll do.
terrible at naming songs. It's all, normally the last bit of the song process for me. I'll be like, oh, I need to take the file to send it off to get mastered. I'm like, I can't call it like 3 when I send it off to the studio. It doesn't look very good. So I have to come up with a name there and then. And I don't know. I used to be like, I have a song and it'd be like a full sentence, or it'd just be like a lot of one word kind of names. It's like the first single I wrote and released was Sunset, and I almost called it Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I can't do that. I don't think anyone will find it. So it's always been a bit of a mess naming songs. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to 3 on the next EP.
So it'll be a very avant-garde kind of new jazz, you know, something like that. Lots of samples.
So obviously, I'm just guessing you're looking forward to getting back to gigs. I mean, that's all we can really look forward to at the moment.
Yeah, I've been asked to do a 4-song, like 25-minute set, like a live stream gig for, I don't actually know exactly, this would be a great time to promo it, but I haven't got all the details yet, but that theoretically might be quite soon, potentially this weekend. So that'll be fun. I'm really looking forward to pushing my Virgin Media Wi-Fi to its limit, try and stream audio for people. But no, I've got a few tentative bookings in 2021 that we'll see. Wow. But I mean, I'm just going to be saying yes to anything that comes up, basically.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time, Olly. When we can have people back and I'm no longer in my loft and everyone's no longer just in their houses, we'd love to get you on the show properly, get you down when you're in Southampton and get you on. It'd be amazing.
Lovely. My girlfriend's down there, so when lockdown's finished, I'll be coming down a lot to visit. That works great.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you.
And take care.
Cheers. Thank you.
Bye-bye.